as free as the wind, on the wings of a dove I am flying high above. Nothing can keep me earthbound. There is a freedom, there is a call, there is a feeling, you're one with it all. In the light on the water, there am I shining. One moment here, then I'm gone. In the thunder, in the distance, there am I shouting. I am the life that lives on and on. There is a freedom, there is a call, there is a feeling, you're one with it all. La da da, la da da, la da da. In the stars, in the night sky, there am I twinkling. I am the sparkle in your eye. In the laughter of the children, there am I playing. I am the joy of all life. There is a freedom, there is a call, there is a feeling, you're one with it
Welcome to a brand new year, a brand new you. I'm Maxine Kaye, spiritual leader of the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, and I'm delighted you chose to begin 2021 with us. Our beloved community is comprised of open-hearted, clear-minded, beautiful spiritual seekers, and we're willing to learn how to use and apply the beautiful principles of science of mind to our everyday lives. This is a very practical religion, and we're grateful to be a part of it. So wherever you may be on your spiritual path, you are so welcome here. We're so thrilled that you chose to be with us today. And in fact, we already love you. And what we do here is our very best to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence and to co-create a world that truly does work for all. We have a purpose statement, and we always invite you to say it with us if you care to. If you say it loudly enough from wherever you are, we may be able to hear you right here in Paoli, Pennsylvania. Are you ready? Living, loving, learning, spirituality that works. And now our opening song by lovely Margaret Owens, The Thing Itself.
Hello, and welcome to the first installment of Fireside Songs with Margaret. I'm Margaret, and this is my fireside. So this is just something that I wanted to do because I was inspired to share with you what I do, which is write songs and sing and hopefully inspire. I don't know. So here's a song, okay? Alrighty. Here we go. The thing itself is beautiful. The thing itself is magnificent. The thing itself goes by many names. Some people call it God, Buddha, Allah, Muhammad. Call it Father or a four-speed blender. You can call it Mother if that don't send you on a bender. You can call it power or something gentle. I got a method to recall the fundamentals. It's A, absolute, E, energy, I, infinite, O, oneness, and U is universal. And then there is why, because why, because why, because there's you. Let's not forget about you. The thing itself will move you if you will call it through you to guide your thoughts and deeds and care for every need, to bless the path as you explore it. And if you happen to be searching for it, it's A, absolute, E, energy, I, infinite, O, oneness, and U is universal. And then there is why, because why, because why, because there's you. Let's not forget about you. The sun still shines when it's cloudy, and you're still divine when you're pouty. You rage and you dream, you hope and you scream, you curse and you care, and it's always there, because it's absolute, E, energy, I, infinite, O, oneness, and U is universal. And then there is why, because why, because why, because there's you. Let's not forget about you.
That was lovely, Margaret. Thank you. Here in Paoli, Pennsylvania, we had actually some snow this morning. We're cozy inside. I think it might be time for us to come even more cozily inside our hearts and have a little time of meditation, yes? So breathe with me deeply that breath of life that is fresh and new, that is moving through our bodies and our feelings and our thoughts, restoring us as we release that which has been and begin to enter into a beautiful sense of new possibilities. Let the breath come deeply, deeply into our lungs and release then that which might have been concerning in any way. And continue now simply to breathe very naturally and normally, comfortably. And let's allow that breath to become a bridge to our hearts. We begin to enter in to our hearts and discover that we are being welcomed by a divine embrace, where our hearts are connected to the one heart. And here we rest and allow that divine nurture to embrace us, hold us tenderly. And as we enter into this sense of serenity and well-being, there is nothing to concern us. There is only love. There is only peace. There is only God. Now let's come even more deeply into the center of our hearts, knowing that we are all being held so beautifully in the one heart. Rest in the clear awareness that in the oneness, all is well and all is possible. As we dream a new dream of a beautiful world, of peace and prosperity, of equity and love and joy, we begin to formulate a new spiritual prototype, a beautiful vision of that which is now ready to evolve and to show up in our wonderful world. It begins right here within our hearts. So let's take a silent moment to begin to envision the beauty of this newness that we are ready to allow to come forth into our personal lives and into the world and onto the planet itself. And this precious, peaceful, powerful life is our reality. How good it is to co-create with all the beloveds something beautiful, something newer, something truer. All is well, and this is where we begin. Thank you. And now I would like to invite our practitioner, Georgiana Gord, to bring us an opening treatment this morning.
Good morning and Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us on our first Sunday celebration of 2021. I'd like to read a quote that really moved me when I found it just recently, and it's from Rumi, who's one of my favorites. I searched for God and found only myself. I searched for myself and found only God. So please join me as I go into our spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer. And I'll state this in the first person, so please join me as you choose. Knowing there's only one life, one love, it's everywhere present. I am so grateful for this universal love. I am so grateful for this magnificence to align with the presence of the Most High, which this is God. And this God lives through and by means of me. And I am infused with this God presence. And as I am infused with this God presence, I feel the peace, the joy, the harmony, the wisdom, the magnificence of God's eternal love. And I feel it internally. And as I feel this love internally, I know I am one and I am united and I blend into the magnificent consciousness of God, the infusion of all these wonderful qualities, these qualities that are with me right here, right now, always have been, always will be, and right here, right now as I move into this new year. And I move into the new year knowing that there's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. And every step I take, every move I make, every thought that I have is aligned and grounded and connected to God. And I allow myself to let go of anything that stands in the way, knowing that perhaps sometimes there are clouds that may be seen, yet knowing behind those clouds or in those clouds there's a magnificent silver lining. So I am so grateful for seeing the silver lining in all that I think, say, and do, and most importantly, the light that is always lit in my heart. Knowing this, I give such great thanks for this new year. And as we always say, Happy New You. And I accept that. I accept the love of God, knowing that the new me is the God presence that I am, which is always me. So thank you, Mother, Father, God, as I release this into the law, knowing it has been received, acted upon, and done. And so it is.
Thank you, Georgie. Now will you join me in speaking our affirmation together? There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Are the kids here? Come on, gather round, kids. Oh, hi, there you are. I'm pretending like I see you. You know I see you with the eye of my heart. I'm always so glad to connect with you on Sunday morning. Well, I wanted to share with you, first of all, Happy New Year. I want to share with you that our neighbor left a little gift for us just before the new year. And along with that gift was this. Now, I don't know if she intended for it to look like a COVID replica, but doesn't it? It's an orange with cloves stuck in it. Imagine putting that much focus on a small but rather dangerous germ that we've been dealing with all year, previous year, and we're still working through it, but things are looking good. So there have been, it's kind of funny, isn't it? There have been so many really challenging, sometimes terrible occurrences that have happened over the centuries to people, and we somehow keep moving through. There's something within us that continues to know that no matter whether there are wars or illnesses or upsets of so many kinds, that the spiritual, divine, human race continues. It will continue. And there have been so many more beautiful things than the awful things. And let's think about those a little bit. You know, music, dance, art, books, painting, architecture, and it all depends on how you and I line up with this beautiful, greater intention for a peaceful, prosperous world. by focusing our minds and our hearts on that which is good and beautiful and serves humanity as well as ourselves. And I know you. I know that you're very careful with the environment. I understand, in fact, that we would be far beyond this clove-filled orange replica if we had been better to our planet. And I know you well, you've done so many things to make a difference in our environment. You remind us, you teach us that we need to use our fine minds that God gave us to make a positive difference in our families, in our neighborhoods, and in the world itself. So Happy New Year, Happy New You. This is an opportunity for us to use the power of good that God has given us to make this 2021 a really wonderful year. Yes? Thank you for being with us this morning. We so time that we're all together here in this sanctuary. Love you. Bye now. Okay, I think the adults are still here. Hi. This is a brand new year, a brand new month. Now, Centers for Spiritual Living has a beautiful, beautiful new theme for 2021, and it is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. Don't you love that? Because you know that new thought is really ancient thought. This has been around a long time, and we are the latest wave of the expression of this beautiful way to live life. And we've chosen here in Paoli the January theme of Back to Basics, Forward to Foresight. And today's topic is, what is this thing called God? And you know, here, as in many other centers, we choose to focus on the basics of religious science, science of mind, the first 4 weeks in January. And so this is based on the introductory chapter, the thing itself. And the quote that I have from our wonderful Dr. Ernest Holmes is, "This is the simple meaning of true metaphysical teaching, the study of life and the nature of the law, governed and directed by thought, always conscious that we live in a spiritual universe, that God is in, through, and around, and for us." For us. Let's never lose sight of the fact that the universe is supporting us, that everything in this divine life is moving toward our own continued beautiful spiritual evolution. All of us individually and as an entire divine human race. Well, philosophers and theologians have always sought, what's the ground of being? What's the basis of everything? And Leibniz, a great German philosopher, came up with the phrase, the perennial philosophy. And Aldous Huxley joined in and wrote a book about the perennial philosophy. You see, there is something infinite and eternal that underlies and infuses and is the heart and the core of all life. We don't see it, but it's there. It is invisible and it becomes visible as the divine mind speaks and it is done, or as you and I speak and it is done. Let's get a little clearer about that. This ineffable, invisible, divine life is real. It is complete. It is authentic. And it's your life. It's my life. This is where we focus our attention. By becoming aware of the one life that is expressed in each life, we begin truly to understand the unity of all life. We're divine human beings, and we are discovering our spiritual authenticity. Oh, it's fun to be human. Don't you love to be human? I like to dance. We all love our humanity, but we must remember, too, that it is only part of who we truly are. Because if there's only one life, and it's God's life, and that life is your life and my life, because we were formed out of that life, what else can we be but divine? It's not hubris to say that. It is the truth. You and I are the I am that I am. And as we turn to the center of all truth and all good and remember the reality, who we really are, then we find that the creative intelligence of the divine, of life itself, is right where we are, and it's ours to use. What a great, joyous responsibility that is. You and I get to utilize the power of the one mind because we're part of it. And that which is true of the infinite is true of the finite, just in a different degree. There are, according to Thomas Troward, 7 substantive qualities of spirit. And those substantive qualities of spirit are within us and are the reality of us as well. Remember what they are? Love, life, light, peace, power, beauty, and joy. And we utilize this divine presence by recognizing our unity with it, and we focus on that which is true, that which is beautiful, and that which we really wish to bring into our personal lives and into the world itself. And then we rely upon the law of mind to bring it about. You see, there's one mind, it's God's mind, and that mind is the same mind that you and I use, and it has 2 classifications, right? Conscious and subconscious, objective and subjective. And that which we focus upon with a conscious mind, just as that which the universal focuses upon, which is with its universal mind, is then received into the subjectivity of life, and that is where the law of mind is operative and brings about what we've prayed about. It's a great system. Don't you love it? We are aware of it more and more so that we can use it more effectively in our lives. Because the truth is, we're always using this law of mind. But if we're not aware of what we're doing, we might be misusing it. And when we misuse it, things show up that we'd rather not have in our lives, right? We are individualized centers of divine activity. Wow, that's a fabulous realization. That's a beautiful awareness, isn't it? You and I are individualized centers of divine activity. And just as God says, let it be, and there are rivers and there are planets and there are beautiful animals and beautiful human beings and who knows what else. Just as God says, let it be, and there is, so you and I, in our spiritual mind treatment, our affirmative prayer, our spiritual work, you and I say, let it be, and it is, so long as we are clear in our consciousness and don't allow any doubts in the way and never ever allow ourselves to erroneously feel that we are separate from our source. That's the key, isn't it? To remember that we are an individualized manifestation of the one source, and the life and the light and the peace and the power and the beauty and the joy and the love are all right here where we are, because they're our very essence. There's love and there's law, right? Love is this impulsion to create, to expand, and the love of the divine must manifest, always finding new beautiful ways to create out of itself, just as you and I were created out of itself. That's the impulsion of spirit to express. And we have that same impulsion. We must express also. When we enter into this divine love, this perfect peace, and feel our union with all that is, the divinity and all of humanity, when we feel that divine union, that actually is the first 2 steps of spiritual mind treatment, recognizing the presence of the divine and understanding that we are expressions of it, that there is no difference except in degree, and it's who we are. So that love is essential to become aware of, that great creative impulse for something to come forth through us, for us to expand and become even more of who we already are. And then there is the law of mind. That's the immutable action of manifestation. And it's at work all the time. Whether you're 2 or whether you're 102, something is being created through your focus of intention. And once we become aware of that consciously, then we become much wiser about what we set into motion in our lives. Because you see, we're dealing with a universal principle. It doesn't just work for some people and not for other people. It's at work all the time. And Ernest Holmes said a phrase that I love and utilize probably daily. Court the presence and direct the law. Court the presence. Feel that unity. Feel that intense love that God has for all of its creation. And then from that place of oneness, speak our word of truth, of power, of peace, and bring into our lives more love, more compassion, more equanimity, more joy, more abundance, more health and well-being for ourselves, for our loved ones, for the planet itself. We're all in the process of discovering our innate freedom. Do you realize how free we are? We were never designed to be in bondage of any kind. The only bondage that ever takes place, the only limitation that ever becomes our experience is something that's self-imposed. Now, that's not to say we have done it intentionally. And it's not to say we've even done it. Because many times we are accepting the beliefs of what we call the race consciousness, that which is the subjectivity of all human beings. And it impacts us until we decide to move that flow into the other direction. You know, Ernest Holmes was once asked, what do you think this new philosophy, this religious science, this science of mind is going to do? What good do you think it's going to do for the world? What's its purpose? Do you know what he replied? He took a term from Carl Jung. He said, it's to lift the unconscious. It's to lift the unconscious mind of humanity. It's to lift it. So each time that we begin to feel as though we are being imposed upon by some of the false beliefs out there or in the subjectivity, it's time for us to rather influence the subjectivity by speaking our truth within our hearts, with our voices, within our minds, to lift the collective unconscious. That was the exact term. That's the purpose of our teaching, to lift the collective unconscious, to make us all aware, more aware. Every single being is on a spiritual path of evolution. And as we work together and understand that we want peace and prosperity and the good power to express in this world, we begin to see the difference we are actually making. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. And something within us has always known that we are divine. Don't you know it? Don't you just know it on a very deep level, that you are divine, that you are more than bones and hair? You're a divine being, expressing in the most beautiful human way. Don't you know that we're never alone? Don't you know that we have the power to become free of all of these false beliefs? And that we can never be separated from God's life. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. And all we need to do is open our hearts and our minds to feel that special, precious source within us that says, "Thou art my beloved one in whom I'm well pleased." That's the truth of who we are and how adored and cherished we are. That's the truth of the spiritual beings that you and I are. Our teaching is simple. It is profound. And it is based on ancient wisdom. You know that ancient fable about the gods who decided that man was going to be a little bit too cheeky and decided to hide his divinity. So one said, oh, let's hide it on the top of the highest mountain. And the others said, well, I think he'll finally climb up there, so let's find another place. Let's put it at the bottom of the sea. He'll never find it there. He's pretty intrepid. He'll finally get down there. And finally, the wisest god of all said, let's put it where it's going to take him the longest to find it. Put it within his own heart. Well, it's time for us to wake up to that divinity that is within our own hearts and to know God is all there is, and all there is God. We live in a spiritual universe. Ernest Holmes says the study of science of mind is a study of first cause, spirit, mind, or that invisible essence, that ultimate stuff and intelligence from which everything comes, the power back of creation, the thing itself. Prayer, or treatment, he says, is a movement of thought within the mind of the one praying along a definite line of meditation. That is for a specific purpose. Let's use this divine power. Let's utilize it for good, for greater peace in this world, for prosperity for all, for abundance, for love. We'd like to focus today on using this grand power for true peace in our world. Say with me, there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And now, right now, is the time for us to turn completely to our source, to dive deeply into our unity with God and with one another. What is this thing called God? It is universal harmony. It is global unity. Are you ready to envision with me a world that works for all? Are you ready to envision with us a place of peace? We have something very precious for you right now. It's global peace prayers that have been provided for us by many of our beloved friends, ministers, practitioners, lay people, who are speaking these prayers in their native languages. We're ready now to share this with you.
Я Люда Лишукова, с Украины, практиционер. Я знаю, что в потоке жизни мы все живем, двигаемся, действуем. Я знаю, что эта энергия жизни постоянно циркулирует через все сущее. И эта великая энергия сейчас находится везде и всюду. И сейчас я знаю, что все наполнено миром, светом, любовью, гармонией. И эти великие энергии свободно циркулируют через все сущее, наполняя, оживляя все вокруг. Я знаю, что этот год, который был, это тоже год испытаний, но он дает возможность каждому осознать себя, стать более осознанным, более уверенным, более знающим, что мы все есть в едином пространстве, что мы все существа, которые пришли в этот мир проходить свои уроки. И каждый этот миг нашей жизни есть уникальным и совершенным. Все есть замечательным. Мы сейчас накануне Нового года находимся на пороге открытия возможностей, новых великолепных ставим целей. Снимаются все барьеры. Сейчас идут такие потоки энергии, которые более легкие, более воздушные. И эти энергии являются уникальными и совершенными. Поэтому мир, который окружает нас, это мир любви, радости и света. И он распространяется по всей Вселенной, уголка, где нет этой уникальности. Я благодарю жизнь, я благодарю Вселенную, благодарю каждого, кто проходит свои уроки на этой великой, великолепной, прекрасной земле. Я желаю всем нам быть любящими, светлыми, добрыми. И я знаю, что жизнь всегда дает возможность, чтобы мы наслаждались, любили каждое мгновение, потому что оно ценно, оно светло, оно великолепно. Я благодарю всех и вся за это великолепие жизни, за ее красоту, за ее мудрость, за ее свет, за эти великие чудесные энергии жизни, которые всегда были, есть и будут. И я знаю, что Новый год – это новые возможности, это новые открываются горизонты, это новые цели. И я знаю, что все мы идем по пути самореализации, по пути самоисцеления, по пути наполнения и к единому великому целому, которое есть вокруг нас. Это сама жизнь. Это мы все осознаем, что мы ее проявление. Я благодарю всех и вся за эту красоту жизни, за ее вечность, за ее уникальность и совершенство. И каждый из нас является уникальным и совершенным. Благодарю, благодарю, благодарю за все. И так это есть.
La prière de paix. La prière de paix, ça consiste de la paix et l'harmonie commencent avec soi-même. On veut tous la paix, on veut tous l'harmonie. Alors, pour moi, ma prière de paix revient toujours à la prière de Saint Francis d'Assise, car ça représente, je crois, ce que nous désirons tous. Seigneur, fais de moi un instrument de ta paix. Où il y a de la haine, que je mette l'amour. Où il y a de l'offense, que je mette le pardon. Où il y a de discorde, que je mette l'union. Oh, où il y a l'erreur, que je mette la vérité. Où il y a doute, que je mette la foi. Où il y a le désespoir, que je mette l'espérance. Où il y a les ténèbres, que je mette ta lumière. Où il y a la tristesse, que je mette la joie. Ô Maître, je ne cherche pas tant à être consolé que consolé, à être compris qu'à comprendre, à être aimé que aimé, car c'est en donnant qu'on reçoit, c'est en s'oubliant qu'on trouve, c'est en pardonnant qu'on est pardonné. C'est en mourant qu'on ressuscite à la vie éternelle. Réfléchissons à la prière à l'intérieur de nous. Paix, amour, lumière.
En este momento hay una sola paz. Llamo a esta paz sabiendo que es todo, sabiendo que es la luz del mundo, el amor del corazón, la vida que está entre todas las personas, todos los animales, todos, todos, todos. Y sé que esta luz, esta paz va por todo el universo, guiando lo que pertenece a eso, que es la sola paz. En este momento llamo a la paz, sé que estoy unida con esta paz tan profundamente que cualquier cosa que no es la paz, eso cae de mi vida, eso cae de mi ser, cae de todo, para que pueda saber otra vez que soy una con esta Dios. Y afirmo y declaro paz para todo el mundo, para cada persona que oye esta oración, que oiga que es la único amor de esta paz. Y sé que esta experiencia de la paz es entre nosotros y sale de cualquier persona y es la experiencia de todo el mundo. Y sabiendo que esta parte del año, estos días felices y prósperos son parte de nosotros. Doy la paz, doy la bendición y suelto mi palabra ley, sabiendo otra vez que todo está bien. Y así es. Amén.
Sia la pace sulla terra e possa iniziare con me. La beneamata presenza di Dio, dispensatrice d'amore, di saggezza, apra i nostri cuori al divino amore e alla pace. Colmi le nostre menti e i nostri cuori. Benedica i nostri cari, la nostra comunità e il mondo intero, colmandolo con la sua protezione. Portando a compimento l'unione di questo prezioso spirito con tutte le creature, scegliamo di vivere in armonia e in serenità con tutto il creato. Dal momento che siamo protesi a vivere nel divino amore e infinita saggezza, fluisca incessantemente la pace di cuore in cuore, trasformando il mondo e tutte le sue creature. Grati della pace che noi riceviamo, celebriamo l'anno nuovo con misericordia per tutti. Grati per l'onnipotente presenza di Dio, manifestata attraverso di noi, ci incamminiamo verso il nuovo anno in cui il potere dell'amore sostituisca l'amore per il potere. Tutto va bene dal momento che la pace diventa la nostra verità universale. Così sia. Amen.
Op dit rijke, volle moment rust ik mijn hart, mijn lijf, mijn ziel, mijn denken in het hart van het universum. En hier vind ik de diepste, liefste, warmste vrede, die door me heen vloeit en zich uit in de wereld. Het is een soort spiegel. Dus andere mensen die het nodig hebben, ontvangen het, voelen het en vinden deze diepe vrede in zichzelf. In de eenheid van al het leven vinden we goeds. En één van het goeds, van het beste, is de vrede die begint bij onszelf. De enigste plek waar het meest echt en authentiek is. En zo dus mijn aandacht blijft bij de innerlijke vrede die blijft uitstralen in de wereld verder dan ik kan zien. Verder dan dat en verder dan dat in de oneindigheid van het leven. Raakt alles aan als een zaadje die vrede groeit op een ander gebied, een andere manier in de oneindigheid en dan weer terugkomt. Maar zoveel dat de straling van vrede zelf over de hele wereld en het hele universum brandt. Ik ben zo dankbaar voor dit. Zo dankbaar voor de vrede in mij, buiten mij en de vrede die ik breng, waar ik ook ga. Ik laat los wat er nog in de weg zit. En dat wordt losgelaten op een manier dat het vrede vervult. Dat vrede zichzelf vervult. En zo is het, nu en voor eeuwig.
大家好，新年快樂！新嘅一年，新嘅開始，我為大家送上特別嘅祝福，祝大家身體健康、幸福快樂。2020真係非常嘅一年，因為疫情，我哋嘅生活唔多唔少都蒙上咗一層嘅灰色。雖然好多時候可能我哋唔可以好似以前咁經常同家人或者朋友相聚，但係間中一條短信、一張卡喺視像電話裏邊嘅一聲問候，好似都帶住咗比以前更多嘅關懷同埋思念，包含咗更多嘅祝福同埋鼓勵。喺呢個咁難忘嘅一年裏邊，相信我哋唔多唔少都有所成長。我希望我哋可以繼續帶住愛同埋盼望走入2021年，願新嘅一年世界和平，大家日日精彩，時時開心，分分如意，秒秒幸福。願你哋所有嘅夢想都可以加倍實現。再一次祝大家新年快樂，大家繼續加油！
Der geheime Weg. Es gibt einen geheimen Weg der Seele, den alle kennen können. Es ist der Weg des Friedens und der Liebe. Dieser geheime Weg führt zu Orten der Freude und in das Haus des Guten. Es ist der Weg des Geistes und alle, die wollen, können eintreten. Ich betrete den geheimen Weg des Guten, den Weg des Friedens, und ich betrete den geheimen Ort des Höchsten. Der geheimnisvolle Ort des Göttlichen ist in mir. So ist es. Amen.
Peace is because God is, and God is peace. That peace which passes all understanding, overspans all space and eternity, finds a dwelling place in that I am that each of us is right here and now. An ever greater manifestation of that peace is now being realized in the affairs of people and nations of the earth. Kindness, understanding, compassion, and cooperation are now the growing reality. Choosing to see newly, we forgive anyone or anything that we feel harmed or limited by, opening our hearts to a greater truth. Ours is a world where everyone's needs are met. Ours is a world that works for everyone. As heaven is here and now, peace is here and now. All men are our brothers, all women are our sisters. The world rejoices with a realization of oneness among the people of the world. Knowing this is so in divine mind, we give thanks, knowing peace is now coming forth. And so it is.
And so it is. That was beautiful. I'd like to read to you now from Centers for Spiritual Living spiritual leader, Dr. Edward Villun, an invitation to action. You must make use of the tools you have been given as a human being, starting with a beautiful mind, a mind to contemplate love, to meditate on peace, and to embody oneness of all. A physical body to experience the world. You have your 5 senses to see, to hear, to feel, to taste, and to touch. You have a mouth to speak words of love. You have hands to take action and to be of service to others. And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Now is the time of our offertory. We give thanks for the abundance that is ours to share. We give you all opportunities to contribute in any way that is appropriate and wonderful for you. We're thankful, so grateful for how you continue to support our work. And you can see the ways that you can make those contributions. So let's take our gift in our hand, perhaps virtually, maybe hold it to our hearts, because we know that every good gift comes from the very heart of God. And please join me in saying our prosperity affirmation. I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My ties go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered, and so it is.
Life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. One life, there is only one holy substance flowing in and throughout creation, and right here in this very moment we are an expression. We are a beloved expression, born of perfection. Let's raise our hands and celebrate, because we know there's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is perfect. That life is my life. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is perfect. That life is my life. That life is my life now. Life, there is only one holy substance flowing in and throughout creation, and right here in this very moment, you are an expression. You are a beloved expression, born of perfection. So raise your hands and celebrate, because you know there's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is perfect. That life is my life. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is perfect. That life is my life. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is perfect. That life is my life. That life is your life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is perfect. That life is my life. That life is our life now. Life. One. What? One. What? One. What? What? One. Life. One. What? There's only one life. That life is God's
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the GPCSL Afternoon News. I'm Jeffrey Messino. John Zoll has the day off. As a member of your Board of Trustees, I would like to thank Reverend Dr. Maxine Kaye for such an uplifting talk today. And wasn't that International Peace Prayer absolutely touching? Now, let's see what's new in your consciousness. If you like to gather together for some inspiration with others, we are offering 2 new classes in addition to Reverend Mike's Science of Mind textbook study group, which gets together every Saturday from 9:45 to 11 a.m. on Zoom. You can jump in anytime for free. It's a love offering class. If you'd like to join, just email him at reverendmike@cslphilly.org or call him at 760-828-7698. He'd love to welcome you. The first class we are offering, which is by Dr. Maxine Kaye, is a 5-week non-accredited class entitled The Art of Abundance, beginning Tuesday, January 5th, this Tuesday, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. This short but powerful class will lead you through the principles and practices that enhance the consciousness of true abundance, focusing on the 10 rules of prosperous life as identified by Dennis Merritt Jones. Reverend Mike is also offering a 10-week accredited class entitled New Foundations of Science of Mind, beginning Saturday, January 9th from 1 to 4 p.m. This is the perfect course for newcomers who are seeking a firm foundation in the teachings of Science of Mind, as it offers workable spiritual solutions to everyday human situations and challenges. It also provides a great opportunity for longtime students to review and employ more deeply these universal dynamic tools for personal and global transformation. Of course, to register to any of these classes, either call the office or email Linda at admin@cslphilly.com. You can also go to our events calendar for more details. Our website is cslphilly.org, where you can also view past Sunday celebrations and Dr. Maxine and Reverend Mike's daily love notes. And that's what we have for our announcements today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to treat and move your feet.
Oh, Jeffrey, that was delightful. Thank you so much. Yes, we will quickly tell you about the 2 classes that are coming up this week. The Art of Abundance. This is based on the book by the same name by Dennis Merritt Jones. It's fabulous, and it is about abundance, but it's about, so much more than that. It's 10 rules for a prosperous life, and it's far more than money. It's about really living fully from the very heart of you. And then that's Tuesday. And let us know right away if you'd like to sign up. You need the book, and it would be a good idea for us to send you the materials. They're free. And you can send a love offering from time to time if you wish. Now, Reverend Mike, what do you have to tell us?
Well, the class that I'm teaching beginning this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 4 that Jeffrey mentioned, it's the foundations of religious science. And this gives you an opportunity, as he was saying, is to really understand where we come from, the principles, the tools we have, how to meditate, and then how to actually apply these things in your life. It's more than just an intellectual exercise. We are going to be helping you to actually apply it in your life. And with regards to the history of religious science, we're pleased to have with us this Saturday the historian of religious science herself, Dr. Marilyn Leo, to be joining us. That's fabulous. And from time to time, we'll have guest speakers. So make sure you join us.
Good job. Join us. I want to thank our beloved Edie Janik, who also is our projectionist every Sunday morning. You don't see her, but I do. And I want to thank Edie so much for sponsoring today's Sunday, and that's in memory of her beloved brother, George. Thank you, Edie. We appreciate that so much. And now, our January birthdays. This is Birthday Sunday. Of course, when we're all here together, there is cake. And so today, we're going to ask anybody with a January birthday to stand up wherever you are, because we're going to sing to you.
Stephanie.
Here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. That was fun.
And so we rejoice and give thanks that peace is, and that each one of us is the emissary as we take it out into our individual lives and ultimately let it shine out into the world. God is good all the time, and we are so grateful, and so it is.